Alright, now I've had that mix setting for a good 10 minutes. Now, here's something else I kind of do. I took my green beans, obviously drained as much water, because the water is just full of sodium, much water off of it as I could. I'm going to put them in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw some pepper on it, because I like pepper. It actually flavors green beans really well. And I normally don't. The only thing I pepper basically is green bean, and I like pepper on eggs for some reason. So now here's the trick, okay? So I went and bought a pack of bacon. I'm single, I live by myself. So for me to eat a pack of bacon before it goes bad is not gonna happen. Bacon freezes really well. So what I did one evening was I cooked up all the bacon I had, broke it up into, you know, quarter-sized pieces like that so they'd fit in a baggie, and I just take them out as I need them. Bacon flavors green beans really well, so I'm going to take a couple of those and put them in there and put my frozen bacon stash back in the freezer, get all the air out, try and keep some of the freezer burn from happening. I mean, I've had those in there about a month and there's no freezer burn. And I personally think a lot of it's just because I take all the air out of it. I don't know that that's the case, but it seems to work, so we'll go with that as the reason why. So, and that's, you know, put that to the side. It doesn't even need to be heated up yet. You know, actually I think I will. I'm going to turn it on low just because that frozen bacon's in there. And I'm just going to kind of let that set in there and simmer a little bit. And then I can turn it off until I'm ready to heat it up to temperature to eat. Alright, so we're going to turn the skillet on. You know, I use electric. I actually prefer gas, but this house I live in now has electric, so that's what I'm stuck using. I think I came up with, I set it on 4.5, and I think that comes up to about 325 degrees. It's just to the point right before oil will start smoking. So, and you see, you know, it's hit and miss. You just kind of got to mess around with it until you figure out, because I think they're all probably a little different, but you want this thing to get good and hot. Generic bottle of oil, I think it cost me $2 for the whole bottle, $2.50 maybe, but we're gonna let this get good and hot, and then we're gonna throw the oil in there. On the salmon, I mean, that's, look at that, it ain't going nowhere. Okay, I'm holding it upside down. It's not going anywhere. And it's mixed in real good. It's set. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to go inside and I'm going to cut it into 4s. Just, you know. Okay, so now we got 4 equal portions there, and we're just going to kind of let that set for just a second while this is heating up. But the reason, obviously, I think, you know, I treat everybody like they've never done this before, because some people never have. You know, it's a fast food world. You eat fast food or you eat pre-made food because you don't have time to cook. Well, now we got the time to cook, so why not learn about it? Anyways, so the reason I did that, I made it all level on the bottom, let it set, now I've cut it up. So obviously now I've got 4 equal portions. They're all going to be the same size, same consistency. I'm going to want to make them basically the same thickness so that they cook at the same rate on the stove. That way they're all going to come out relatively the same, which is what we want. So I've got those cut up. I'm letting the skillet heat up. Once it heats up for a couple minutes, I'll be back and we'll start cooking. All right, so the skillet's good and hot. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the oil in and let it heat up. Now, on this oil, you want enough to cover the entire bottom of the skillet. I don't necessarily like using oil that much, but this kind of requires it. And honestly, they don't soak in a whole lot of the oil. They come out crispy and tasty. So we just let that heat up for a minute. And again, my habit thing of keeping handles not hanging off the edges is just an old habit from when the kids were little, and now I live by myself, but I've got a couple of puppy dog family members that love my food as well, and they would tend to sniff around and want to know what it is, so I kind of keep this stuff to where they can't, you know, grab a hold of anything. They're pretty good size, so if they wanted something they could probably grab them without having to jump up. So oil's heating up good. You can't see it probably on the video, but the oil is kind of shimmying and moving around a little bit. Good and hot. So I just washed my hands, so you'll know. 30 seconds hot water and then a rinse. I've got these broke down into 4 pieces, so I'm going to pull them out. This is kind of the only messy part of the whole deal, but you see I got one of them there. And then we're basically going to make a hamburger patty out of it, okay? You know, and that's a good one right there. So go ahead and set it in there and get another one. I moved the green beans to the back burner because I'm going to make the mashed potatoes on the front burner because they require a little bit more stirring. And we have our second one. Obviously your hands are going to be so gumpy after you do this, you're going to have to wash your hands, but even if they weren't, don't forget you put egg in here, so you got raw egg on your hands now. So third one. And get all the rest of it. And really, so far, basically, all I've done other than the skillet and the pan is dirtied up one bowl and a fork and a knife. And that's it. Alright, so let's put the last one in there. Alright, let me wash my hands real quick. And those will set up pretty quick, and it really doesn't take them that long to cook. So probably by the time I get done washing my hands, I'll be ready to flip them, or pretty close to it. It's a really good meal. It tastes really good. I mean, I don't know how healthy it is, but I think it's probably not any worse than anything else, and it's a hell of a lot better than fast food, I can promise you that. Let's see here. Alright, so green beans. This is me being lazy again. I figure if I'm going to dirty a fork up, my lid's going to be dirty anyways, why not just do it that way? Okay, so alright. Spatula here. And get ready to make the mashed potatoes here in just a minute. Now here, see, that didn't take very long for the side to cook. I guarantee you those are already done. When you flip these, okay, here's a little bit of advice. You got really hot oil in there. Don't flip them and just let them slap down, and especially don't do it directed towards you, because you could splash that oil up and it ain't fun, man. I've burnt myself before. So you flip them away from you, and that's the good way to do it. See, I didn't But look how pretty that is. You know, I'm just saying. Come on. This one's being irritating. Okay, there we go. Alright. So that one more, and it'll be the pain in the ass, I'll bet. And that's slick. Slip moving around. Quit it. Okay. Alright, so there's those. Now, and those won't take very long. You know, it's the same deal as the first round. You know, it'll take the same, what, I don't know, a couple minutes to cook, if even that. So I'm going to get started on the mashed potatoes here. And the green beans are cooking up. And I've got those set on about 4. There's no sense in you know, heating them up so much that you're gonna scald the bottom. Here's another thing, these pans, you know, people go out and spend $50, $60, $70 on a set of pans. All right, I bought these two locally at Thrift Haven. Shout out to a local place that they donate 100% of their proceeds to a children's home that they run. So I spend as much money there as I can, and I donate as much stuff there as I can. But I bought both these pans with the lids, and I think I spent, I don't know, maybe $3 a piece on them, but they're high quality. One's a Wherever, and the other one's, I don't remember what brand, but don't buy cheap stuff. Go ahead, I would rather you go to a flea market and find something that still has a good Teflon coating inside, if you can use that, and get a high quality piece for $3 or $4 than to buy a cheap ass piece, because the cheap ones aren't any good. This is a good skillet too. I bought at the I don't know where I bought it, but one of the thrift places. So you know, I mean, I've got under 10 bucks tied up in these 3 pans, and I use them all the time, and they've always done real well for me. They cook evenly. Just buy good quality. You know, look up Wherever, Faberware. You know, there's several of them out there to buy. So, all right, I'm gonna let those go for just a second. I'm gonna start making the mashed potatoes here.